Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Well, let's take a look at some stocks on the move today in Europe. I'm Stephen Carroll and I'm joined by Bloomberg's breaking news editor, Louise Moon. Louise, good morning. Let's start with banking then, and Societe Generale in France announcing a €1 billion buyback.
Indeed, so this will begin this month, so November 17th, and it's being well received. It's been seen as a bit of a boost for investors. They've been holding out for more payments. That's after, so SocGen had their third quarter results a few weeks ago, and they didn't outline fresh payments within those results. And that was even though its capital buffer was comfortably above a level that it had set at a threshold to then return more money, but it didn't announce it in those third quarter results. And so today it's been seen as quite a boost. It's been doing very well. Share price has more than doubled since the beginning of the year, so it's been one of the best performers among lenders in Europe. So as I say, shares edging slightly higher this morning on a bit of positivity for that 1 billion share buyback.
Indeed. Shares also edging higher too in TotalEnergies in France after a new M&A deal announced from them. What should we learn?
Yeah, so they're buying a 50% stake. That's in a portfolio of assets, of power generation assets from an energy holding company called EPH. So it's a joint venture, so 50-50 for these assets in Western Europe. So this will be things like power plants and batteries across a whole host of countries, so Italy, the UK and others. They're buying that for 5.1 billion euros. EPH, that their JV partner, is owned by Czech billionaire Daniel Kretinsky, interestingly. And in exchange for the deal, they'll get a 4.1% stake in Total. So they'll become one of Total's largest shareholders. So an interesting deal in that space. It kind of comes as Total is continuing to expand more in the power sector. It's part of their diversification. Some of their rivals are getting more sales from things like fossil fuels, but they're focusing on electricity. So as you say, shares ticked higher on the back of that. They didn't gain... They weren't, kind of soaring this morning. They only slightly ticked higher, potentially held back by them saying that as a result of this new deal, they're lowering their capex guidance by $1 billion a year. So potentially holding back those gains. But an interesting deal in that space this morning.
Okay, and then we're turning to advertising now. Shares in WPP in London up 3.4%. A potential takeover target?
Potentially, yes. There were reports over the weekend. So the Times in London reported that there'd been some takeover interest for WPP. So this is from a French advertising agency, and they say they've held quite advanced takeover talks. So nothing's been confirmed yet from either side. So we're waiting to see if anything will come. But as you say, WPP shares reacting quite positively to that. They've had quite a bad run. If you look at their share price, they're down almost 70% so far this year. They cut their growth guidance last year. They used to be, as you'll know, they used to be one of the world's largest ad agencies, but more recently they've been battling kind of a reduction in spending from clients, the rise of AI, more competition, and that's really been hammering their share price. So potential takeover for them, and we'll be keeping a close eye on that one.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.